Life has a way of knocking us down, doesn't it? We all carry the weight of our mistakes, regrets, and missed opportunities. They sit heavy on our shoulders, making us feel like we're stuck in the past. But here's the thing, your past doesn't define you. It's just a chapter in your life story. And today, we're turning that page. Think about those what ifs and if onlys that haunt you. Maybe it's the promotion you didn't get, the relationship that fell apart, or the chances you let slip by. They linger in your mind, whispering that you're not good enough. But let me tell you something important. Those moments don't define who you are. They never did. Today, we're going to change the way you see your past. We're going to transform those failures into fuel for your future. This isn't just about making you feel good. It's about helping you become the person you're meant to be. Why should this matter to you? Because right now, your past is holding you back like a weight that keeps you from reaching your full potential. It's time to break free from that weight, no matter your age or where you are in life. Are you ready to turn your scars into stars? Chapter 1. The weight of the past. Your past can feel like quicksand, pulling you deeper every time you struggle. You replay those moments of failure over and over in your mind, like a broken record. It's exhausting, isn't it? You stop yourself from taking risks because of what happened before. That voice in your head keeps reminding you of past mistakes, paralyzing you with fear. Science tells us that our brains are wired to remember negative experiences more vividly than positive ones. It's called negativity bias, and while it might have helped our ancestors survive, it's keeping you from truly living today. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with every regret, mistake, and missed opportunity. How heavy is that pack now? How fast can you run with all that weight? The truth is, this weight isn't just slowing you down. It's affecting every aspect of your life. Your relationships, your career, your dreams. You're not showing up as your best self because you're too busy being your past self. And let's be honest, there's a strange comfort in dwelling on the past. It gives you an excuse to avoid taking risks or putting yourself out there. But is that backpack of old stories worth the life you're missing out on? Here's a hard truth. The past is only as powerful as the meaning you give it. Right now, you're letting your past hold the pen that writes your story. It's time to take that pen back and start a new chapter. Chapter 2. Reframing your story. Your past isn't a prison, it's a classroom. Every setback, every mistake, every time you fell flat on your face, it wasn't failure, it was education. Think about it. You learn to walk by falling, and you learn to talk by babbling nonsense. Why should life be any different? The Stoics, ancient philosophers with timeless wisdom, believe that external events don't harm us. It's our judgment about them that causes the pain. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So, how do we turn our past from a burden into a boost? First, stop seeing yourself as a victim. You're not a punching bag for fate. You're a warrior in training. Every hit you take is toughening you up for the next round. Second, get curious about your past mistakes. Instead of beating yourself up, ask, what can I learn from this? That failed relationship might have taught you what you truly need in a partner, and that job loss might have shown you what you're passionate about. Third, practice gratitude. It might sound soft, but what if every bad thing that happened to you was actually setting you up for something better? That breakup, it freed you to meet the right person. That setback at work, it pushed you to start the business you've always dreamed about. Here's a challenge for you. Take your biggest regret, the one that keeps you up at night, and find 3 ways it made you stronger, wiser, or more resilient. I'll wait. Done? Good. That's the power of reframing. You've just turned poison into medicine. Your past doesn't define you, it refines you. It's not about forgetting what happened, it's about changing what it means. You're not erasing your history, you're rewriting it. Chapter 3. Learning from failure. Let's get straight to the point. Failure isn't your enemy, it's your greatest ally. Every time you fall, you're not falling behind, you're falling forward. Think about the last time you failed. Remember the disappointment, the shame, the self-doubt. Now, imagine if you could harness that energy and turn that pain into power. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was born into slavery and rose to greatness, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Let that sink in. Your failure doesn't define you. Your response does. Success can be a lousy teacher. It's seductive, making you think you're invincible. But failure keeps you hungry, humble, and always learning. Let me ask you this. Have you ever met someone who's never failed? They're often untested and unprepared for life's real challenges. Now think about the people you admire, the ones who've achieved greatness. I guarantee you, their path wasn't a straight line. It was a chaotic scribble of attempts, failures, and comebacks. Take Thomas Edison, for example. The man failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about it, he said, "I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of a winner. Or consider J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter, she was a broke, divorced single mother on welfare. 12 publishers rejected her first book. Now she's one of the most successful authors in history. These aren't just feel-good stories. They're blueprints showing us that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Here's what I want you to do. The next time you fail, and you will, because you're human and you're trying, I want you to celebrate. Yes, celebrate. Because you've just found a way that doesn't work, which means you're one step closer to finding what does. Remember, the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. Every scar you have is a lesson learned, and every setback sets you up for a comeback. Seneca, another Stoic heavyweight, said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Your failures aren't weakening you. They're forging you into something stronger, something better. So promise me this. Next time you fail, instead of beating yourself up, ask yourself these questions. What did this teach me? How can I use this? How did this make me stronger? Because here's the truth. You haven't failed until you quit. Everything else is just learning. So, are you ready to turn your failures into fuel? Are you ready to fall forward? Chapter 4. The power of present focus. Your power doesn't lie in your past, and it's not in your future. It's right here, right now, in the present moment. Let's be real. How much time do you spend reliving past mistakes or worrying about future problems? If you're like most people, it's way too much. You're letting life slip through your fingers because you're stuck in your head. Marcus Aurelius dropped this truth bomb. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The past is gone, and the future isn't here yet. All you've got is now. Have you ever been so focused on something, a game, a conversation, a task, that time seemed to disappear? That's what psychologists call the flow state. It's when you're fully present and engaged. And guess what? That's where peak performance happens. I'm not saying you should ignore your past or not plan for your future. I'm saying don't let them ruin your present. Your past doesn't need you, and your future doesn't exist yet. But this moment needs you fully here. Here's a challenge for you. For the next 24 hours, catch your soul whenever your mind wanders to the past or future. Bring it back to now. What do you see? What do you hear? What can you do right now to move toward your goals? Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Are you fully appreciating what's in front of you? Or are you too busy regretting yesterday and worrying about tomorrow? Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're driving a car. The windshield is huge, but the rearview mirror is tiny. Why? Because what's ahead of you is much more important than what's behind you. Your life should be the same way. Focusing on the present is where your power lies. You can't change the past, and you can't control the future. But right now, in this moment, you have the power to shape your life. So, make a choice. Are you going to let the past and future steal your present? Or are you going to seize this moment and make it count? Chapter 5. Embracing change. Change is scary. We're wired to seek comfort and stability, but life is anything but stable. It's constantly shifting, like a river that never flows the same way twice. And that's where the magic happens. The Stoics taught that change is not just inevitable, it's necessary. Marcus Aurelius put it like this: "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." So, if everything is always changing, why are you so afraid of it? The truth is, resisting change is like trying to stop the tide with your bare hands. It's exhausting and it's pointless. But embracing change, that's where growth begins. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, you expand it. The thing that scared you yesterday becomes your new normal today. Look around you. Everything you see, from the clothes you wear to the technology you use, was once a change that someone embraced. Imagine if Steve Jobs had been afraid to challenge the status quo, or if Elon Musk had stuck to what was comfortable. The world as we know it wouldn't exist. But let's bring it back to you. What changes are you resisting in your life? Is it a career move, a relationship shift, or maybe a new habit you need to adopt? Whatever it is, realize this: the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. Here's what I want you to do. Identify one area of your life where you've been resisting change. Got it? Now, take one small step, just one, toward embracing that change. Maybe it's updating your resume, having that difficult conversation, or signing up for that class you've been putting off. Remember, change is the only constant. The more you embrace it, the more you grow. And growth, that's where the magic happens. Chapter 6. Letting go of regret. Regret is like a shadow that follows you around, darkening your days and haunting your nights. It's the feeling that you could have, should have, would have done things differently. But here's the hard truth. Regret is a thief. It steals your peace, your joy, and your future. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you made a mistake and you couldn't stop thinking about it? You replayed it over and over in your mind, wishing you could go back and change it. But did all that thinking and wishing change anything? Number, It just kept you stuck in the past. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. The past is done, and you can't go back, but you can decide how you're going to live today." Think of your life like a river. It's always moving forward, never backward. If you spend your time looking back at the rocks you've passed, you'll miss the beauty of the journey ahead. Regret anchors you to the past, but forgiveness of yourself and others frees you to move forward. Here's what I want you to do. Think of the one thing you regret the most. Got it? Now ask yourself, what did I learn from this? Write it down. Then write this next to it. I forgive myself. Forgiveness doesn't mean you're excusing the mistake. It means you're releasing the hold it has over you. It's like cutting a rope that's been holding you back. Once you let go of regret, you free yourself to live fully in the present. Remember this: you are not your past mistakes. You are not your regrets. You are the choices you make today. So, what will you choose? Chapter 7. The Strength of Vulnerability. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's strength in its purest form. It's the courage to show up, be seen, and take risks without knowing the outcome. And yet, so many of us hide behind masks, afraid to show who we really are. Brené Brown, a researcher and storyteller, says, "Vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome." The Stoics also believed in the power of facing our fears head on. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you open yourself up to growth, connection, and real strength. It's not about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Imagine if every time you felt vulnerable, you saw it as a sign that you're about to grow. How different would your life be? Here's a challenge for you. The next time you feel vulnerable, whether it's in a relationship, at work, or within yourself, don't hide. Lean into it. Acknowledge your fear, but don't let it stop you. Share your truth, even if your voice shakes. Vulnerability is the birthplace of creativity, innovation, and change. It's where the magic happens. So, dare to be vulnerable. Dare to be real, because the world needs more of the real you. Chapter 8. Building Resilience. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Life will knock you down. That's a given. But what defines you is how you get back up. Resilience isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain. The Stoics were masters of resilience. They believed that we don't control what happens to us, but we do control how we respond. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let's get practical. How do you build resilience? First, you need to reframe your challenges. Instead of seeing them, when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you open yourself up to growth, connection, and real strength. It's not about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Imagine if every time you felt vulnerable, you saw it as a sign that you're about to grow. How different would your life be? Here's a challenge for you. The next time you feel vulnerable, whether it's in a relationship, at work, or within yourself, don't hide. Lean into it. Acknowledge your fear, but don't let it stop you. Share your truth, even if your voice shakes. Vulnerability is the birthplace of creativity, innovation, and change. It's where the magic happens. So, dare to be vulnerable. Dare to be real. because the world needs more of the real you. Chapter 8. Building resilience. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Life will knock you down. That's a given. But what defines you is how you get back up. Resilience isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain. The Stoics were masters of resilience. They believed that we don't control what happens to us, but we do control how we respond. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let's get practical. How do you build resilience? First, you need to reframe your challenges. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, see them as opportunities to grow. When life throws you a curveball, don't ask, "Why me?" Instead ask, "What can I learn from this?" Second, cultivate a support system. Resilient people don't go it alone. They lean on their friends, family, and mentors. They ask for help when they need it, and they offer help when they can. So, who's in your corner? Who can you reach out to when the going gets tough? Third, practice gratitude. It's easy to focus on what's going wrong, but resilience is about finding the good in the bad. Every night, write down 3 things you're grateful for, even if they're small. Over time, you'll start to see that even in the darkest times, there's light. Finally, take care of yourself. Resilience isn't just mental, it's physical too. Exercise, eat well, and get enough sleep. Your body and mind are connected, and you need both to be strong. Here's what I want you to do. Think of a challenge you're facing right now. Got it? Now, write down 3 ways you can respond with resilience. Remember, you're not defined by what happens to you. You're defined by how you respond. So, how will you rise? Chapter 9. The power of mindset. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world. It's the difference between seeing a problem and seeing an opportunity, between giving up and persevering. Carol Dweck, a psychologist and researcher, coined the term growth mindset. It's the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through hard work, good strategies, and help from others. The Stoics had a similar belief. They understood that the way we think about challenges determines how we experience them. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So, how do you cultivate a growth mindset? Start by challenging your limiting beliefs. Those are the little voices in your head that say, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good enough." When you hear them, don't just accept them. Question them. Ask yourself, is this really true? More often than not, you'll find that it's not. Next, embrace challenges. Instead of avoiding difficult situations, see them as opportunities to grow. Remember, every time you step out of your comfort zone, you're expanding it. You're becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable. Finally, learn from feedback. Instead of taking criticism personally, see it as a chance to improve. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? The more you're open to feedback, the faster you'll grow. Here's what I want you to do. Think of a challenge or setback you're facing. Now, write down 3 ways you can approach it with a growth mindset. Remember, it's not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond. So, how will you grow? Chapter 10. Creating a vision for your future. It's time to look ahead. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? 10 years? What kind of life do you want to create? A vision for your future isn't just about setting goals. It's about creating a roadmap for your life. The Stoics believed in living with purpose. Seneca said, "If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable." In other words, if you don't have a clear vision of where you're going, you'll drift aimlessly. Creating a vision starts with knowing what you want. What are your deepest desires? What kind of person do you want to become? Take some time to reflect on these questions. Write down your answers. Don't hold back. Dream big. Next, break your vision down into actionable steps. What can you do today, this week, this month, to move closer to your vision? Remember, a vision without action is just a dream. Finally, stay committed to your vision. Life will throw obstacles in your way, and you might feel like giving up. But remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Keep your vision in front of you and let it guide your decisions, big and small. Here's what I want you to do. Write down your vision for your life. Be specific. Then, write down 3 actions you can take today to start making that vision a reality. Remember, you are the architect of your life. So, what will you build? Conclusion: the journey continues. As we come to the end of this journey together, remember that the wisdom of Stoicism is not just a philosophy, it's a way of living. The lessons you've explored are more than just words on a page. They're a guide to help you navigate the complexities of life. But here's the truth. Life is messy. It's filled with highs and lows, triumphs and setbacks. There will be days when you feel on top of the world and days when you wonder if you can keep going. And that's okay. What matters is that you keep showing up. Keep choosing to grow, to learn, to become the person you were meant to be. The Stoics believed in the strength of the human spirit, in our ability to rise above any challenge. And I believe in you. You've already taken the first steps by embracing these teachings, by opening your heart to change. Now, it's time to take them with you into every moment, every decision, every breath. Let these principles be your compass, guiding you through the storms and the sunshine. This isn't just the end of a book, it's the beginning of a new chapter in your life. A chapter where you live with purpose, face challenges with courage, and embrace each moment with gratitude. So, as you step forward, know that you're not alone. You have the wisdom of the ages within you, the strength of your spirit guiding you, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow lighting your path. Keep going, keep growing. The best is yet to come, and you have everything you need within you to make it happen.